Get ready to drop the puck, take a free throw, and step up to the plate. It's time for the Metro East Sports Podcast on lineupmedia.fm.
Okay, before we get to guest number 2, Nina Walters and head tennis coach at Alton Marquette Catholic High School, her uncle, Mike Walters. I got to talk about Keller Williams Marquee. If you're looking to buy or sell a home in the Metro East on the Illinois or Missouri side, please give our partners at Keller Williams Marquee, Jeb and Ginger Blassingame, the chance to serve you. They have offices in Waterloo, O'Fallon, and Edwardsville with more than 130 agents. The Blassingames are a family-owned business that has helped over 5,000 families find just the right home. The Lipes are one of those families. We love our house, and Jeb and Ginger sold our house quickly because they are experts at staging and pricing, and they helped us find the perfect home, and they can do the same for you. No wonder they're ranked in the top 10 real estate teams in North America. Give Jeb and Ginger Blassingame a call at 618-578-9276 or check them out online at blassingamegroup.com. I promise, folks, you will not be disappointed. All right, Coach Walters, niece Nina, thanks so much for joining the show tonight, guys.
Thanks for having us.
What's up at Alton Marquette girls tennis this year?
Well, we've got most of our kids back. We lost our number 2 player. We've had 4 matches so far. We're 3-1. Lost to Althoff 5-4, which was a little disappointing because we lost 2 of the 3-set matches. And our kids are incredibly playing well this year, which surprised me because unlike your players, my kids don't pick up a racket till the first day of practice.
A lot of those kids are putting in some time in their off-season tennis training. Maybe not all of them, but some of them are, including your tough number 1, Monica Wendell. How's she doing?
She's doing great. She has played very well. She did lose to Althoff in 3 sets, but I think the Althoff girl's been playing a lot more. She's looked really good. Although this year she's a little different. Last year she ran out in front of everybody, then had a struggle in the second set, and this year it's been just the opposite. She struggled at the beginning, but then she comes back strong in the end.
Okay, let's talk about the young lady to your right. Welcome to the show, Nina.
Thanks for having me.
Good to see you. What year in school are you?
I'm a senior.
And I saw you play last year. I remember you on the team last year. I think you played number 3
Yep.
or 4?
I played 3, yeah.
And what number are you playing this year?
I'm playing 2 this year.
Okay, and just to let our non-tennis folks know, in some conferences we play 6 singles and 3 doubles, and the girls play in order of strength. Okay, so in your conference, what are you guys? Are you in a conference now?
We are not in a conference this year.
I knew that. And so typically, what do you play? You could play all kinds of different formats when you guys play a match. What do you typically play?
We usually play 6 singles, 3 doubles.
Okay.
It usually depends on where we're playing. Whoever's at home, they pick. And when we're at home, we always start 3 or 6 singles and then 3 doubles.
And last year there were 3 really good single A tennis players.
Yes.
Three really good singles players, single A. Miss Carmody
Yes.
at Triad,
Correct.
the young lady to whom she just lost at Althoff,
Right.
and then Monica at Marquette. So same type of situation this year. All 3 of those girls are back, right?
All 3 of them will be back. I think that all 3 of them will make it to state if we have that this year. And it's going to be tough. Any one of those 3 could win it. And it just depends on who's playing well the day that they're playing.
Agreed. A lot of parity in local single A tennis for sure.
Yes.
And what about you, Nina? What are you looking forward to playing this year? Has it been decided? Are you going to try singles? Are you going to play doubles? What do you prefer? What do you want to do?
Well, I know that in sectionals I'm going to be playing doubles with Betsy Gross. She's my doubles partner.
You like doubles?
I do like doubles.
Better than singles?
Yeah, usually.
Well, if you knew her dad was one of the best doubles players in the area growing up, and she's picked up some of that. She's one of our better volleyers and probably the best net player we have on the team.
You know, people, we got to talk about Alton tennis right now because on the drawing a blank of the faces, the 4 Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore.
Oh man, woo! It's been a long day. On the Mount Rushmore of Alton tennis, you got the Simpson family and you got the Walters family right there. two incredible families that go way back, way back. Your dad, one of the icons of tennis, your whole family, you know, on and on and on. Like, how many siblings did you have?
I had 8 siblings. 7 of us played tennis. My mom and dad played. My dad and mom were, when they were in their 50s, they were the number 3 ranked mixed doubles team in St. Louis. My dad and his doubles partner, Walter Brink, who was about 10 years older than him, they were in the top 5 in St. Louis. But I think the most unusual thing about my dad was the fact that he played with an unlit cigar in his mouth. And people just could never fathom that. They would think, wouldn't that interfere with your strokes? Well, if you ever seen my dad play, he doesn't hit it hard. So, no, the cigar never got in his way.
Dink and dunk, man. I remember playing Walter Brink, and he had the Yonex racket with the flat top. I mean, he or as a Prince Pro or Prince, it was either Prince or I think it was a Prince, and he had flattened the top of it. Mm-hmm. He'd bashed it and made it flat, and it just would lob you and chip it at your feet and lob it over your head. And I won the mixed doubles at Rock Springs Park, but we played Mr. Brink in the semifinals. And I thought, this guy, he had to have been 70 at the time.
Yes.
60 or 70 at the time. And he was competing with me, and I was in college.
He was steady.
And I was struggling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you know,
and my partner was good, Laura Gabriel from Granite City,
yes.
and that's why we won.
Well, you know, Walter smoked between every crossover just about.
Anyway, those were, man, I have so many great memories. And then the new park at Gordon Moore, and you guys have brought that back. And your family's played such a critical role in the popularity of tennis in the Alton community just for so long, you know, and your dad and mom coached at Marquette forever, and now you're continuing that legacy too.
And I've coached. My brother Jim coaches. He's assistant coach up in Bloomington. My brother Tom is an assistant coach at Chatham.
Right,
Glenwood.
We see them all the time.
Robert Logan was at Alton Marquette. His brother Chris coached at Lewis and Clark. Then he helped me at Alton Marquette, and it was just it was really strange growing up. We just thought everybody played tennis because that's what our family did. And then when Mom and Dad took over at Marquette, I congratulated my dad. He's still the only men's coach to win a sectionals. He got a big head, and I said, Dad, that's okay. Mom won 4 times. So
there you go.
She's the only women's coach to ever win sectionals.
That's so awesome. And I think in some ways tennis gave you guys opportunities growing up.
Yeah, we
gave
met
you friends.
So many different people from all over not just our area, but like you said, St. Louis. We could go play anywhere in the Metro East and go over to St. Louis, and now my brother Tom, he was really good, so he met a lot more people than I did. I wasn't one of the better players in the family, but you did. You got, and to this day, I remember coaching at Summer Sport, and I ended up playing. It was Balboa and his doubles partner, and my brother Tom and Jim beat them at Alton Open in the finals. So I got to meet the gentleman. So we at Summer Sport went over and played his team. One night. It was a lot of fun. They were much better than we were, but it was still fun to watch these kids play.
1987 to 1988, my summer job was Summer Sport. And we had 110 kids in that junior program, and we had Rob Simpson, my brother, the Hardigs, all the Jacobs kids.
Yes.
And there were 324 of them, I believe. 323 boys and Mary Ellen.
Yes.
Who was the toughest kid on the block.
Yes, she was phenomenal.
And I took her to Taco Bell on her 8th birthday or whatever it was. Was Noggles was up the hill there.
Yes,
Noggles was up the hill there from Summer Sport. And I used to tell those little kids, I said, I'd put you 12 and under kids against any club in St. Louis, and we would whip their butts. I mean, you think about all the talents.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go Pat John, on and on, all about. There were so many of those. We had so many kids there, and it was really when I fell in love with teaching tennis. Mm-hmm. So I've got a lot of fond memories, and of course I was close to Rob Simpson, right. And I'm still close to Robbie, and I talk to Robbie occasionally, and I Mrs. Simpson, and just on and on and on. I have just so many great tennis folks there in Alton. Nina, what's it like playing for your uncle? He told me that he is the greatest coach of any sport of all time, and that you would pretty much back that up.
I don't know about that. Yeah.
What's he like? One of the things it seems like he's got a little nickname for everybody. He calls you Rudolph?
Yeah, he calls me Rudolph. He has nicknames for everybody. Mine's one of the better ones. Calls somebody Table.
Table?
Table, yep. He calls somebody Stars and Stripes, which it's a 3-word nickname. So every time he yells at her, Stars and Stripes, it's kind of
Stars and Stripes.
Yeah.
Is Coach a yeller?
He only usually yells when he's joking, but he yells at us a lot.
I don't believe it. I've coached against Mike and known Mike for a long time, and he's salt of the earth, always a calm guy, always a smile on his face.
Oh yeah, that sounds like him.
That's not Coach Walters?
No.
Mike, you've been doing this for quite a while, it seems like, there at Marquette. How many years have you been at it?
I think this is 7 or 8 years for me, so it's a lot longer than I anticipated doing it. And because I started with the boys, and then the girls coach stepped down, so they asked me to do it, and I was going to do it for a couple of years. And I actually, 2 years ago, I resigned because I didn't have the time. And then one of the moms brought over something over Thanksgiving, I remember, and the kids had signed all this card, and they were like, well, we can't wait to come back next year. And I'm looking at my wife, I go, I just quit. And she looked at me, she goes, you got to go back. And I said, no, I don't. I said, I don't like any of these kids. I don't want to go back and be subjected to that anymore.
That's great.
And but no, so I talked to the athletic director and said I'd like to come back. And he actually had a pretty funny idea. He said, well, I'm going to introduce the new tennis coach. So he called me and he said, when you coming? And when you get here, text me. And I did. So they're expecting some other person, and I come walking in. And they were, I guess, a little excited. And I told them I was just there to introduce the new coach. And then they got upset. And then the athletic director said, no, he's coming back. And the rest is history.
Well, that's awesome. They love you.
I don't know why.
It's obvious. So what did they bring you that's besides the signed card? I'm guessing it was?
Every kid that was coming back the next year signed it. And I was literally, some of them, I'm like, okay, they're never going to play anymore. And I'm like, and my wife goes, you got to go back. And I was kind of looking at it, so I called Nita's mom, and she said, yeah, a lot of these kids will quit if you don't go back. And I said, what about Rudolph? She goes, I don't think she'd go out if you're not the coach. And I said, oh, boy. So my wife said, you got to go back, and I do whatever my wife tells me.
Attaboy. I thought you said they brought you something besides a car, and I guess they brought you food.
Yeah.
Is that what they brought
bread.
you?
Yeah.
See?
A loaf of bread.
You brought it? Really?
Oh,
I would have held out for lasagna, but that's me.
No, this bread was delicious. I mean, I think my wife and I and my daughter had it gone in 2 days.
Oh, there you go. So there's the moral of the story, kids. If you want a coach to stay in coaching, bring him a loaf of bread. So what are the goals for the remainder of the season, Coach? What are the prospects?
Well, we have a pretty busy schedule coming up here. We have, I think, 7 matches over the next 2 weeks. Start with Alton High tomorrow, then Quincy Notre Dame. Quincy Notre Dame's got one of the better singles players in the state, so I'd like to see how Monica does against her. Then Thursday we're at a quad with CM, Granite City, and Greenville. And then next week we have Highland and
Southern Illinois duels.
Yeah, so, and then unfortunately I will be gone for a week, and that's when we play Waterloo and Triad. So I wish I could be at those matches because those are really good matches.
Yeah, that'll be a good one when Monica plays Jocelyn Carmody. That'll be a matchup of 2 of the 3 really good single A singles players in the area for sure. And Nina Walters, I would imagine your goal is to try to qualify for state this year, huh?
Definitely, yeah.
And how are you girls playing right now?
Pretty good. We haven't lost a match yet, have we?
No, well, singles or doubles.
We're talking about doubles here.
Quite
Let's
a few
not talk about
singles
singles.
matches, but in doubles, no, you guys are.
No, yeah, Betsy and I haven't lost yet this year, so we're.
And you're playing number 1 doubles?
Yeah, no, we're playing number 2 doubles.
Number 2 doves. Yeah. Well, good for you. What's the strength of your team? your doubles team. What are you good at? Those volleys that Coach Walters was bragging on earlier?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty good at the net, and Betsy's really good at the baseline, so we balance each other out pretty well.
You got to learn that Walter Brink lob.
And they did. They
Yes,
did.
we worked on that a lot last year.
You worked on that lob, huh?
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Is that the Walters lob?
Well, my dad taught every one of us how to lob, and if you didn't know how to lob, you were not a Walters.
And you were not going to win at doubles, too. I
No.
100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, man, I wish you nothing but luck the rest of the season. I appreciate you coming back again. Second year in a row that we've had Marquette girls tennis repped on the Metro Esports podcast. So maybe we'll try to get Monica in here at the end of the season.
Well, we really appreciate you having us, Dave. Everything you've done for, you want to talk about our family, the stuff you've done to bring tennis to this area, the Futures Tour. Year in and year out, you have one of the best teams, not just in our area, but in the state. And, when people talk to me about tennis, and I hate to brag on you, but I say if you want to see a successful team, you got to see what Edwardsville is doing. And a friend of mine has a daughter on your team this year. She's a freshman, and she was telling me some of the stuff that was going on. And she goes, "Do you have 6-hour practices?" I said, "No, I couldn't stand those kids for 6 hours." I said, "No, mine's an hour and a half." And she was asking me, I said, "But you compete every year for state." I said, "We have one or two players that might make it to state." I said, "So you're in a much better program."
Well, to be fair, when we have 6-hour practices, those are like challenge match Saturdays.
Yes.
Where they play multiple matches to get them ready for playing for 6 hours, the very next Saturday. So if that's the first time you've played from 8:30 in the morning till 2 o'clock at night, you are, that's the way it was when we played tennis tournaments.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You were there all day from 8
You show up
8
8
a.m.
o'clock, and you don't know who you're playing or what time you're playing. You showed up at 8, and then they stapled the draw onto a piece of wood. You're like, "Oh, I play at 10 o'clock. I guess I'll sit here," because that's what you do.
Yeah, you would sit there the whole day. And it's like, luckily for us, we lived close. So if somebody needed to go home and get something to eat, we could with our big family. But yeah, you sat there all from Saturday. And then if it went into Sunday, you were down there all day Sunday.
If you were still playing Sunday, you just felt privileged to still be in the draw.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
So it was just a different time, whereas now it's like, what do you mean I got to wait a half an hour before I go on I play my match?
What do you mean I got to play another match today? Coach, what time will I be done on Saturday? Plan on 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Well, you came out for tennis. This is varsity tennis. This isn't some park and rec league. You're going to be there from 8:30 till at least 7 or 8 o'clock at night on this Saturday.
You know it, brother. Well, thanks so much to the Walters family, 2 reps, Nina and Mike, for coming in today. So good to see you guys, and for chatting about Explorer tennis. Is that what you are? They Lady Explorers? What are they?
I think that we're just explorers, aren't we? I don't know. You go to school there.
No, we're just explorers.
Yeah, they're just explorers.
I think the guys should be Lewis and Clark, and the girls could be Sacagawea.
Sacagawea, yeah.
Why not? That would make sense.
Yeah.
It does make sense, yeah.
Tell Mr. Slaughter, who's retired.
Retired. We now have, one of my former tennis players' moms is
New
Dr.
principal?
Fleming. Yes.
I don't know if I know her, but Mr. Slaughter was my manager along with Mr. Munson at Summersport.
Yes.
So I went way back with Luke and James Slaughter and Cindy. I knew the whole family. It was great. Yeah. Fantastic people also. Yes. So congratulations to Mike on that career. I saw where they had a parade for him on his last day.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool. You guys are doing lots of good things there at Marquette, and I wish you nothing but success the rest of this year. I'll be following you. Nina, good luck. Good luck in your journey. Any other jabs you want to make at your uncle, your favorite coach? You're not going to make fun of his blonde hair or anything?
Oh, no. I've done that plenty.
That's a good look, Mike.
He claims that he doesn't diet, but we all know that he does.
You look fantastic. You look like a 32-yerold Brad Pitt.
He looks like Guy Fieri.
Okay, make sure you have that in the video because I want my wife to see that because she thinks I look more like an 80-year-old Bob Hope.
I don't want to be compared to Bob Hope. I sit here every week and cringe when I look over there at that camera. So I'm not making fun of anybody, but you guys are the best. Thanks so much for coming by. Give me one of these.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right.